you see this glove, bitches, you know exactly what time it is. It's Halloween! Yeah! My favorite time of the year. This ain't no Christmas sweater, Dr. Seuss. So anyway, before I get into this rather handsome-looking young fella and all of this stuff that I'm rocking tonight, shameless plug. Number one, if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and of course, subscribe to the man himself. And if you want to help support this channel, piggies, there's a link to my eBay store called the Carolina Collectors 001 in the description box below. I'm selling baseball cards, graded slats, anything that your sports card heart desires. So if you want to support this channel, bitches, check out my eBay store. Click the link below. Now that the e-begging is over with, let's talk about yours truly, bitch. Now, I love Freddy Krueger. I grew up in the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s. And Freddy Krueger, for like the first 2, maybe even 3 movies, was fantastic. But it started to get real corny real quick, you know. He became a ham, basically. But then they tried with Jackie Earle Haley to put him in a red and green sweater. Great actor, just a really, really awful reboot of the first movie, which I think all Fred heads are like, what the hell is this? But Freddy pretty much is timeless. I hope they don't resurrect him. Leave it alone. Leave our 80s alone. I've said this in other videos with other subjects I've talked about here on the channel. Leave our 80s alone, Hollywood. Stop rebooting and remaking things. It's stupid. And then, of course, you're going to smear their subliminal messages and social justice nonsense all over it. I have no interest in that. So, leave well enough alone. Please, Hollywood. Especially Freddy. But anyway, let's get into the costume. Now, forgive me, I'm wearing this really thick, really, really awesome Evolution mask that I got off of Etsy. I think I paid like $4.99 or $5.99, something like that. It comes all the way down here. It's very similar to like a Dark Ride, CFX, WFX, but it's got its own little nuances and things like that. And for me, I'm 6'1". My weight fluctuates between 206 and 210. It was very difficult to try to keep the weight off in time for Halloween. And I've been on a serious diet anyway, so as you can see, I think I did a pretty good job of doing that. I still kind of have a little bit of a belly, but that's down from what, 268 to 270. So getting it down to that is actually not bad at all. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. So yes, I will pat myself on the back. But this mask I got off of Etsy. It's an Evolution mask. Real thick, heavy-duty silicone. There's a couple things about it I don't like. Like, if you're a big guy like me, Robert Englund, I believe, is 5'7", 5'8", broad shoulder, really, really thin. I'm 6'1". Like I said, I weigh between 206 to 210 on any given day. I've been able to keep my weight down at that point. And it's because of my height and my build. It's very, very difficult to do a good Freddy Krueger to scale. I have to upscale everything. Instead of downsizing, I have to upsize. Like, supersize my cheeseburger, bitch. Fries and a Coke, also. But the mask is actually pretty cool. As you can tell, I am sweating to death in this thing already, so I don't know how long I'm going to last. I do have a backup costume. Actually, I have several backup costumes for tomorrow. Should the weather get too crazy, because they are saying it's going to be like 80 degrees tomorrow. So we'll see how long I can last in this thing. Ugh. Unless I was doing an indoor convention. As you all know, silicone can heat your face up like you're sticking your head in an air fryer. It's awful. And I'm spitting everywhere. The only thing I had to do, because I had to upscale the costumes. I had to cut the eyes just a little bit. But here is where it's just too big and it doesn't really conform to my mouth. And what happens is that sweat will start gathering up over here. It's so gross. It's fun, but it's gross. Trust me, all you Fred heads out there will know what I'm talking about. The pain you have to go through to try to entertain people with your costume. But anyway, this is an Evolution silicone mask, and it does really, really good. And I thought it worked for me. Now, the thing is that I have a Victorian face, which means I have a long face, so it kind of distorts the mask. And Robert Englund has a more square face. So, again, being proportionate and trying to get everything to look good, that's a challenge. And I think I've accomplished that quite well. It might be a little too clean as far as the sweater and the pants are concerned, but we'll get there. But let me take off the fedora, and you can see the details. If you start seeing sweat dripping out of my eyeballs, I'm telling you, this thing is hot. But let me tell you, for a silicone mask, at this price point, you can't go wrong. What a handsome looking dog I am. Come on, ladies. Let Uncle Freddy take you on your wildest dream trip. Ha! I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it, guys. You guys know if you watch a channel, I don't script my videos. I'm just making stuff up. But anyway, the fedora I did myself. It's as close to a Part 4 that I can get. Basically, this was a cowboy hat that I cut down. I believe the brim is about 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that, so that this way it looks proportionate. You know, and of course, it's got the big crown on it. So, if you think about when Kincaid encountered Freddy in Part 4, and the dog lifts his leg to do his business and has fire piss, you actually see Freddy. You can actually see the hat and the shape really well in that opening scene where it's like, you shouldn't have buried me. I'm not dead. And even getting the curvature and everything like that was a bit of a challenge, but I think that it looks pretty good for what I need for this costume. So, the sweater, I don't remember the maker. Unfortunately, may she rest in peace, Margaret Olszewski. I just learned recently that she passed away. And I had multiple Margaret sweaters for years and years and years. But then I got out of the cosplay thing, and now I got back into it again. And it's only recently I saw a fellow YouTube content creator talking about Margaret, that she died. I didn't know that, so may she rest in peace. So as an alternative, there's a seller on Etsy and eBay. It's the same maker that sells, I believe, every version of Freddy's sweater. Now, remember again, I have to upscale everything to match, because Robert Englund's body shape and my body shape are definitely completely different. I got real long arms. He's got like shorter arms and broad shoulders, square shoulders. So again, it has to look proportionate. So I had the sweater and everything custom made for my body shape. So for me, it looks proportionate because again, I have to upscale everything. But again, this is a nice thin wool sweater. It could use a little bit more weathering. I'm sure your Fred heads are like, yeah, it's a little too clean. It needs a little something. But for my purposes, I do have 2 of them just in case, because even now, I mean, this thing is completely filled with sweat. It's so gross. But it works for me. I got 2 of them, you know, in case I do overheat and I have to change them, so I have a dry one, you know, in the background someplace. If I were to go to like a convention, I can go to my car or whatever and swap them out. Now, tomorrow it's supposed to be god-awful hot outside, so I have 3 or 4 backup costumes ready to go. Most likely I'm going to do my Rick Vaughn costume from Wild Thing. I might show that off on the channel somewhere down the line. But anyway, there's a reason why I'm rocking back and forth, because Freddy's like, he's got ants in his pants. He's always moving. He never sits still. He's always doing something. But I also want you guys to get an idea of what this thing looks like from all angles. So that's why I'm constantly moving. But again, proportionately, all of this works for me. And what's good is that this sweater is thin. It's very thin. And at least with this versus the Margaret sweater, you're not going to die of sweat. But me, I do tend to sweat a lot, especially with this thing on my face. And you kind of want something that's light, but you also want it to be made out of wool, because that's what he wore in the movie. It's a wool sweater. And every sweater throughout every film and every iteration of Freddy Krueger is different. The fedora, the makeup, the glove, the sweater, the pants, arguably the boots. We'll reach that point when we get there. But Freddy morphs throughout. I think he actually de-evolves as the movies go on. Cosplay Chris, or Chris Stanley, he knows a lot about this kind of thing. You should check out his videos on Freddy, man. That guy is just a sponge of Freddy knowledge. But anyway, let's move on to the glove. Now, if you've seen my past videos where I actually found Wells Lamont 1178s, and I found the 7279 trucker specials, this particular armature, along with the glove that originally came with this, was from a glove maker known as Nightmares Unlimited. Now, I do have a glove that's been on order for over 2 years, and I'm still waiting. No, it's not Mike Becker, but I do have a part 4 that I'm still like, I emailed this individual. I'm not trying to sell him down the river or anything like that, but it's over 2 years now. I mean, and I know he's been through a lot of crap and moves and stuff with his job, and, you know, I email him once in a while just to check up with him. Again, I'm not bashing the guy, but I'm still waiting for one of my high-end gloves to come. It hasn't arrived yet. He told me it was going to be here by Halloween. I don't believe that. So I got this guy. So this is a Nightmares Unlimited Part 4 glove that I've modified. I changed the leather, and also I did some work on the back plate and on the finger stalls, and you can see the blades that they look razor sharp. That's an effect that I did myself using a Dremel and buffing, what do you call them, like buffing pads or adapters or whatever, or bits that you put on there. And I threw a little bit of cold blue on there and then buffed it out again, and all this crazy stuff to get those knives to look razor sharp when they're really not. They're not sharp at all. I mean, I could puncture soda cans. I don't have any around me. Hold on here. Oh, I do have a seltzer can here. It's just I got to be careful with the index finger, because this glove did not come with that effect on there. You can see there's like a solder blob. That's actually on the screen used glove. So I'm going to try to do this with my middle finger and not stab myself. Oop. Hold on there. Let me try that again. There we go. So it does go through aluminum cans. So this is not a toy, by the way. I have to make that clear. This is no toy. This is a prop. And it can hurt somebody. So if you ever get something like this, be careful. I know a lot of conventions don't allow for this kind of stuff. And when I go out into the public, I tend to keep my hand wrapped behind me like this, so that this way I don't accidentally poke anybody. Or like if there's people in front of me, I'll turn my hand backwards. If there's people in back of me, I turn my hand off to the side, something like that. But one day I will get a glove that I can have plastic blades so I can go out there and be safe. But anyway, like I said, this is a Nightmares Unlimited Part 4 glove that I modified. You know, I did some work on the back plate. I know it's like a big no-no not to mess with another man's work, but until that other glove shows up, whenever it shows up, this is what I have and this is what I need to use. You know, I changed the rivets and all that kind of stuff, and the movement on this thing is just incredible. And the glove is not an old school 1178 or 7279. It's one of those new ones where I don't know if you can see, but it's not quite an 1178. I know it's a copy, but I had to steal his pull strap off the original glove, stitch it, and keep the red ball on there because that's indicative of the glove. And of course, it's not pinned down the back plate to the glove, which is how it was in a movie, I believe, throughout part 4. And the movement on this thing is just very fluid. I love this thing. Now, I'm going to step back here a little bit. And of course, for the sake of this video, I forgot to put on a belt for the pants. And they really should be a little bit baggy anyway. So say like if I wanted to stand like Freddy, you kind of have to like tilt your head like this. Because that's what he does. Kind of lean into it a little bit. Keep your hand like that. And just like stare at your prey, you know. The pants are Dickies work pants. I do have 2 pairs of these also. Once again, I'm a sweat machine, so if I need to change, I have a second pair. These are not vintage, they're modern age, but they come very close. They're extremely close to vintage, or at least they have the look and feel of vintage brown Dickies work pants. And finally, we get to the boots. So, let me pull up one of my bar stools here. Now, I didn't tie my boots because I didn't want to get too involved. But if you see the boots, I bought these used on eBay. These are Irish setter boots. And throughout most of the movies, I believe that this is what he used. I'm not sure if that's indicative for every single movie, but for this version of Freddy, I decided to buy a pair of old used Irish setter boots, and they are amazing. They also have, now it's going to get a little wonky here, if I can get the boot off for all of you. As you can see, there's sweat pouring out of my mouth because this thing is steaming hot. I'm telling you, if you guys know anything about these masks, they're awful. So as you can see, it's got the yellow, let me see here, I can't even see, I don't have my reading glasses. But anyway, you get the idea. It's got that yellow tag on the bottom, right? So there you have it. That's my Freddy Krueger costume for Halloween. And, oh my God, look at all of that saliva. It's all pouring out of my mouth. You got, look at that. That's the one downside about this costume. It's a cool costume, but if you're a guy like me that tends to sweat a lot, you're going to be roasting. I think the most I've ever stood in this mask, or any mask in the past, is like an hour. It's just too much, and it's not worth hurting yourself or getting yourself physically ill. And some people would actually get claustrophobia. I've heard people get claustrophobia from being in this thing for too long. But as good as the mask is, I suggest, give your face a break. Your skin needs to breathe, and you need to breathe. Otherwise, you'll be covered in sweat drips and saliva, like I am right now. What can I say? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am by far no expert on building Freddy Krueger costumes. The part 4, to me, was easier to do because the parts are readily available. The glove was easy to modify. The hat I did myself. The mask, you buy it, you put it on, you trim the eyes if you have to. The sweater is wearable right out of the box or out of the bag or however it ships, or it ships, I should say, excuse me, and then you can weather it however you want. You can buy Irish setter boots, paint them black or weather them, or buy them used. It really doesn't matter. There's nothing you can't do with this costume. It's probably, man, look at all that sweat, boy. It's one of the easier costumes to do in one sit down without having to break the bank or go crazy. I want to say that this costume ran me, I'm just giving a rough estimate because the mask is the most expensive part of this whole build. I'm going to say under $1,000 to get this thing to look like this. So, oh my God, am I sweating? All right, before I start drooling on myself like a newborn baby, I better get out of this thing because it is just too hot. Oh my God, is this thing hot. But anyway, it's a fun costume. People love it. I love running around like a goofball. Which, by the way, this is actually a good demonstration as to how I take this thing. Oh my God. Boo! Even worse. Oh, yeah, you see, I wasn't kidding, folks. Like, this thing is awful. It's just, after an hour, I'm done. So I could see me getting out of this thing very quick. And this is why I bought 2 sweaters. I got the other one in my closet. I got the other pair of pants in my closet. I even have a backup fedora just in case. And I also have a box of rivets and pliers should those rivets on the glove break if I get a little too rough. But I am definitely melting. You can see the mask right there, what it looks like. So anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't be in this thing anymore. I'm done. So happy Halloween, everyone. Depending on how things go, I'll see if I can put another video out there. I'm expecting another delivery of more update series Topps cards from GameStop. From what I understand, they completely sold out. So now the race is on to get more. I'm not going to get blaster boxes because I ordered a whole bunch of the Fanatics exclusive boxes. So I'm not going to waste my time with those. I think Dick's Sporting Goods, Western New York, who is a fellow content creator, I've been watching his videos, was talking about that. He's been posting custom links, which I've been going to. So if you see this video, my brother, I'm one of them guys that contributes to your channel. That's how it should be, which I think is really cool. And he puts out a lot of good info for fellow card collectors like myself. So this thing is just sweat out and drool. I think I'm making it worse. Always have a backup plan, folks. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Until my next video, everyone, please be safe. All right, even though it's Halloween, there are a lot of kids out there. Don't be stupid. Don't be drinking and driving. I know the cops are going to be out there, especially here. They don't tolerate that crap down here. So if you're going to be drinking, invite your friends over like I'm doing. Have everyone will be safe. Send them home in Ubers if they can't, drive and all that stuff. Just do the right thing, man. You got a lot of innocent kids out there that just want to trick or treat and have a good time and go around as little ghosts and goblins and stuff like that. So anyway, I feel gross because of all of this sweat that's on me. Oh my God, that thing is awful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, enjoy your Halloween. I'm going to try to make another video before my party starts. It's not really a party. It's more a get-together than anything. I got plenty of drinks, and I'm going to order out for food for everybody. So on that note, I want to get out of this gross sweater now that I drooled all over it. Anyway, I'm rambling on. God bless. Take care. Stay safe. I am your host, the Carolina Collector. And trying not to swear, not to cuss, but just for the goof. Take care, bitch. Well, there you have it. My Freddy Krueger. Good night, everybody. See you around.